What's the best joke you know? Guy walks into a bar and says to the bartender, "I'll show you something amazing for a beer." Bartender agrees. Guy pulls out a 10 pianist from his pocket and sets him on the bar. He starts playing beautifully. The bartender, wowed, demands, "Where the hell d'd you find that little man?" Guy says, "I've got a tiny wizard in my other pocket." "For another beer, you can make a wish." Bartender agrees and says, "Wizard, I'd like $100,000. Suddenly the bar fills with 100,000 ducks. Bartender, confused and angry, says, "What the hell, mate? I didn't want 100,000 ducks." Guy responds, "Oh, you think I wanted a 10 pianist? What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo? One is very heavy, and the other is a little lighter." Not mine. I went to a beekeeper to get 12 bees. He counted and gave me 13. "Sir, you gave me an extra. That's a freebie." What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball? Makes gagging sound. I told this to my family when I was like 11. What over well? The only thing so far that's made me laugh out loud is the mental image of someone telling their family that joke at the age of 11. I told my mom I wanted a piece of poontang pie because I heard someone say it while watching the WWF, now WWE. That was a weird time. The World Wildlife Foundation really used to be a different organization altogether, huh? A proctologist walks into a bank. He needs to sign a document. He tries to sign, but he pulls a thermometer out of his shirt pocket. "Oh shit, some asshole has my pen." People are shocked when they find out what a terrible electrician I am. "Doc, you gotta help me. I can't stop singing 'What's New Pussycat.'" "Ah. That sounds like Tom Jones syndrome. Is it common?" "It's not unusual." "Are you new in town by any chance?" "I am homeless, I'm gay, I have AIDS, and I'm new in town." No, I'm gonna push him. I'm gonna push him, and start off by saying I have AIDS. Wait, that's too strong. Hold back, hold back. Build to that. What are 3 other things about him? What did the sign on the door of the brothel say? "Beat it, we're closed." A man goes to a funeral. He asks the widow if he could say a word. He goes to the front and says plethora and sits back down. The widow leans over and whispers, "Thanks, that means a lot." Edit, thank you everyone. I gladly will add on your lines when I retell this joke. You have all made my day brighter. Another man approaches. He had been a close companion of the deceased. He too asks the widow if he might speak, and heads to the front. "Bargain," he says. The widow pats his arm. "That means a great deal." "Thank you. I would if you know that you got both me and my dad laughing. I will gladly add this on when I tell this joke." My personal favorite one, a man comes up and asks to say a few words, and the widow gives him the okay. He steps up to the mic and says with confidence, "Water pit." The widow gives a small smile. "Thanks, I know you mean well." As a Finn, I have a special fondness for Russian-Soviet political jokes. A new arrival to Gulag is asked, "What were you given 10 years for?" "For nothing." "Don't lie to us here, comrade." Everybody knows for nothing is 3 years. A judge walks out of his chambers laughing his head off. A colleague approaches him and asks why he is laughing. "I just heard the funniest joke in the world." "Well, go ahead, tell me," says the other judge. "I can't, I just gave someone 10 years for it." Did you hear about the man with 5 penises? His pants fit like a glove. A penis joke I haven't heard before. Literally just made my day. I could tell you another one that'll make your whole week. How do you spot a blind man in a nudist camp? It's not hard. Before this post I knew of many naked jokes, but I don't think I noticed one. Waterboarding in Guantanamo Bay sounds like a great time if you don't know what either of those things are. Water sports in Guantanamo Bay would be a whole other story. 2 guys are walking down the street when they see a dog licking his balls. One guy says, "I wish I could do that." The other replies, "Well, maybe just try petting him first." 3 men went to hell, and they stood before the devil. The devil asked the first man, "What did you do for a living?" The man answered, "I was a lumberjack." The devil said, "Then we will chop your penis off." He turned to the second man, asking the same question he asked the first. "I was a fireman," said the second man. Then we will burn your penis off, said the devil. He turned to the third man, asking the same question he asked the other two. The third man thought about it, and finally answered the devil, I was a lollipop salesman. CHMOMP. No, Mr. L. The world may never know. A boss had two employees, Alice and Jack. He only needed one. But they were hired at the same time and were both equally good at their job. He couldn't decide which to get rid of. He was sitting at a bar thinking about the situation. Alice walks in and sits beside him and asks, You seem down, what's wrong? The boss said, I need to either lay you or jack off. Alice says, Well, please jack off, I'm tired. An English job foreman is hiring, and an Irishman soon appears requesting a job. Laughing, the foreman responds, You. Hire you. I doubt you know the difference between a girder and a joist. After a moment of pondering, the Irishman responds, Well, one fellow wrote Faust, and the other wrote Ulysses. And my favorite, when it's okay to go off color, Mother Superior is sitting in the convent one night when she hears a knock at the door. She looks out the peephole, and, seeing no one, very cautiously opens the door. She's stunned to find two leprechauns standing meekly, hats in hand, on the steps of the nunnery. My sons. How can I help you this fine evening? Well, Mother, have you any leprechaun nuns in this convent? I'm sorry, my son, we've no leprechaun nuns here. Well, Mother, do you know of any leprechaun nuns anywhere? No, my son, I don't know of any in all Ireland, and if there's none here then there can't be any leprechaun nuns in the whole church. At this the first leprechaun whips around, jabbing his finger at his companion, I told ye you'd been ducking a penguin. Why does the Little Mermaid wear seashells? Because she's too big for seashells. Edit, had no idea this was gonna blow up. Thanks all of you for all the awards. I mixed up the words jacuzzi and yakuza and now I'm in hot water with the Japanese mafia. How is 69 and being in the mafia alike? One slip of the tongue and you're in deep shit. The divorce court judge says to Mickey, Now let me get this straight, Mr. Mouse, you want a divorce from your wife Minnie because she's crazy. And Mickey says, No, I never said she was crazy, I said she was ducking Goofy. If you can do a good Mickey impression it really sells this one. What's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with breast implants? One is a crusty bus station and the other is a busty crustacean. What's the difference between an pickpocket and a peeping Tom? One is a watch snatcher and the other is a snatch watcher. Speaking of pickpockets, did you hear about the midget who had his pockets picked? How could anyone stoop so low? I went to the zoo and saw a baguette in a cage. I asked the zookeeper about it, and he told me it was bred in captivity. Doctor, I swallowed a pen. Well, sit down and write your name. Seems like the person has appendicitis. A man sat down at a bar and told the bartender, I bet you $300 that I can piss into the cup all the way over there on the other side of the bar and not miss a single drop. The bartender said, There is no way you can do that. Sure, I'll bet you $300. The man then begins to undo his pants and begins pissing. He starts pissing all over the bar, spraying on the bottles and the bartender, not making a single drop in the cup. The bartender starts smiling and laughing and says, That's it, you owe me $300. The man then gets up and walks over to the pool table and starts laughing and shaking hands with the men standing there. He walks back to bar, sits down and starts laughing at the bartender and hands him the money. The bartender asks, Why are you laughing? You just lost the bet. The man said, I'm laughing because I bet those guys over there $1,000 that I could piss all over you in your bar and you would still be laughing when I was done. I've heard this one but with a lawyer and IRS inspector. I bought the worst thesaurus the other day. Not only was it terrible, it was also terrible. Edit, well shucks. Thanks for all the awards and for my most upvoted comment. You're all great and also, you're great.